Back in 2005, I took an oil painting course. And I'll tell you why I took one oil painting course. I was a fan, a huge fan of Frank Lloyd Wright, the architect. He designed the Falling Water down in southwestern Pennsylvania. The Guggenheim Museum looks like the set of flower pots all nested in together. And I wanted to be the next Frank Lloyd Wright. And so I read in one of his books, it was a book called The Natural House, and he started a school where he had interns and apprenticeships and the like down near Scottsdale, Arizona, called Taliesin West. He had built his original home called Taliesin in Wisconsin. Taliesin is a Welsh word. Wright was Welsh. It's a Welsh word that means brow of the hill. Isn't that sweet? I think that's just so great. When he hired on or took on apprentices, they paid him. He didn't, pay to have them. They paid to be in his presence and to learn from him. So at Taliesin West, he made every apprentice build their own sleeping quarters apart from the main house where the studio was and all the workshops. And he said, unless you learn the nature of the material, you'll never be able to design with it. He was talking about stone, because stone is so prevalent there in the high desert that it was the obvious choice for building material. Well, I've never forgotten that. I read that back in the 60s when I was a teenager. And so I've always tried to learn the nature of materials before trying to dig in and create something. And so that's why I took that oil painting course. I've known I could draw with a pencil from a little kid. And I realized one day that drawing is a line, but a paintbrush is for painting shapes. You're not doing just line, you're painting shapes. And so that's a whole different calculation. Well, that's why I took that painting class in 2005, in order to learn the materials. I'd never laid hands on oil paints before in my life. But today, I'm working not only with oil paints, but also acrylics, of course, watercolors, collages, custom-made collage papers like Eric Carle did in his children's book that he wrote and illustrated. You remember reading to your kids or your grandkids The Very Hungry Caterpillar? That's the kind of thing that fascinated me.